For those of you that have dabbled in programming before, you'll be quite familiar with variables. For those of you that haven't, think of a variable as a temporary store for a simple piece of information. These variables can be very useful for allowing us to manage and control the actions of our bash script. We'll go through a variety of different ways that variables have their data set and ways we can then use them. Variables are one of those things that are actually quite easy to use but are also quite easy to get yourself into trouble with if you don't properly understand how they work. There are two actions we may perform for variables. First is setting a value for a variable. Second is reading the value for a variable. Variables may have their value set in a few different ways. The most common are to set the value directly and for its value to be set as the result of processing by a command or program. To read the variable, we then place its name preceded by a $sign anywhere in the script we would like. Before bash interprets every line of our script, it first checks to see if any variable names are present. For every variable it has identified, it replaces the variable name with its value. Then it runs that line of code and begins the process again on the next line. Here we have some special variable and their description. Using variables like $random, we can create scripts to get a hash-like values. Take a look at the following script. If you type the command env on the command line, you will see a listing of other variables which you may also refer to. As an example, if we typed pwd, we will see that our path is root, tbc, temp. Now if we typed export home equal to our current path and hit enter, we clearly can see that now our home is our current directory. We may also set our own variables. This can be useful for keeping track of results of commands and being able to refer to and process them later. There are a few ways in which variables may be set, such as part of the execution of a command, but the basic form follows this pattern. Variable name equal variable value. Note there is no space on either side of the equal sign. We also leave off the sign from the beginning of the variable name when setting it. Variable names may be uppercase or lowercase or a mixture of both. But bash is a case-sensitive environment, so whenever you refer to a variable, you must be consistent in your use of uppercase and lowercase letters. You should always make sure variable names are descriptive. This makes their purpose easier for you to remember. Here is a simple example to illustrate their usage. First, we set the value of the two variables myVariable and another. Then run the command echo to check the variables have been set as intended. Run the command echo this time with no arguments. This is a good way to get a blank line on the screen to help space things out. Set another variable, this time as the path to a particular directory. Run the command ls, substituting the value of the variable sampler as its first command line argument. It is important to note that in the example above we use the command echo simply because it is a convenient way to demonstrate that the variables have actually been set. Echo is not needed to make use of variables and is only used when you wish to print a specific message to the screen. Pretty much all commands print output to the screen as default, so you don't need to put echo in front of them. In the example above, we kept things nice and simple. The variables only had to store a single word. When we want variables to store more complex values, however, we need to make use of quotes. This is because under normal circumstances bash uses a space to determine separate items. Remember, commands work exactly the same on the command line as they do within a script. When we enclose our content in quotes, we are indicating to Bash that the contents should be considered as a single item. You may use single quotes or double quotes. But where is the difference between them? Single quotes will treat every character literally. Double quotes will allow you to do substitution, that is, include variables within the setting of the value. Look at the following example. Now to command substitution. Command substitution allows us to take the output of a command or program and save it as the value of a variable. To do this, we place it within brackets, preceded by a $sign. Look at the following example. That was everything for this tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it.